Ashlie, so good to see you.
Hello, so good to see you.
Yeah, let me turn my volume up here. I'm going to have to put my glasses on to do this. Hang on just a second. We had a little bit of technical difficulty getting going, but hey, I made a quick change and we're good. We're recording and everything. Well, you guys, I am absolutely delighted to have my dear friend and business partner on tonight to share with you some exciting news and how Nrf2, NRF1, activation, biohacking has absolutely changed her life. Before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about Ashlie. I love the photos. It was hard to choose, Ashlie, which photos to use. You've got so many. And most of them are outdoors on a bike or hiking somewhere. Yeah, so I just love that. And you live in beautiful Colorado, where I cannot imagine wanting to stay inside when living in such a beautiful place. So to get started, Ashlie Angel is an amazing person. She has a master's in physical therapy. She owned a private physical therapy clinic for many years, was the owner of that. She's also has been for the past 18 years or so a sponsored off-road triathlete and mountain biker. Now, I did mountain biking just a little bit when we lived in New Zealand and loved it, but you, my dear, are like the pro. Oh, I think you froze up. Are you there? You're there. Okay. And you've also won multiple championships. So you froze up for a little bit there. But tonight, yeah, I think you're lagging a bit. You're freezing up.
I can go to another location. All right, I'm going to go closer to my route while you do that.
Okay. All right, so while Ashlie's moving, tonight I wanted to bring Ashlie on to share this information. Many of you on our Live Longer, Stronger pages you're already activated. Lots of you are there just to kind of hang out and find out the information. So we want to welcome you. And if you're watching live, go ahead and let us know you're watching live. Drop a 1 or an emoji, your favorite emoji. But definitely if you watch the replay, just let us know that you're watching the replay. But I wanted to bring Ashlie on to share her personal story of activation and how biohacking has changed her life. And so I don't want to keep talking. Ashlie, I want you to have time to share your amazing story. I remember the first time I heard your story and I was blown away. So I'm super excited to hear from you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be on tonight, Christy, and more than happy to share my story. And thank you so much for that introduction. And sorry for the lag time there. I had to get closer to my router. So hopefully I should be fine now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so as Christy said, I have been a sponsored off-road triathlete and mountain biker for 18 years, and I'm 43. So one of the things that happens after having done this for so long, and being 43, is typically you don't recover as fast. And that's just kind of the natural part of aging. And I can talk a little bit later about why. But I had already started to experience that. And so when I first heard about Nrf2 activation, it was only Nrf2 activation. And I thought, really in my head, I just saw it because I don't have good genetics in my life. Everyone in my family dies of cancer or heart disease, and they don't live very long. And so I really saw it from that perspective, the potential to change that story. I wasn't expecting to notice anything from an athletic perspective initially. But what I noticed within about 2 weeks was that I was recovering faster. So as an athlete, it's all about recovery. So in real estate, it's location, location, location. As athlete, it's recovery, recovery, recovery. So whoever can recover the fastest can theoretically train harder and theoretically race better. or perform better. And so that was something that I unexpectedly got. About 2 weeks later, I had more energy and I was recovering faster. Now, a little bit more about my story was, for being someone who's relatively healthy, I was on 5 prescription medications.
Oh my goodness.
So I was on a prescription for 30 years for allergies and 2 prescriptions for asthma. Not good as an athlete. And
Wow.
the other thing that unfortunately a lot of my friends my age that are athletes also go through is adrenal fatigue. So it's very common, you push for so many years and you just fry your adrenals. So I was on an adrenal prescription and I was on a medication for my hormones because those had been affected. So I had also gotten Epstein-Barr, which is mono. Not a good thing. So in fact, I got out of the water at the national championships and I still had to bike and run. And I was a contender to win. And I really wanted to crawl under a bush and die. I felt so bad. I didn't even know if I could finish the race. So that was the following week that I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr because I said something has to be really wrong. And so I heard then about activating my body and I got the science. With my background, I got the science right away. And I said, holy cow, this is going to be a game changer. And I didn't really care at the time because I felt so bad, but it was BSCG certified, which is Banned Substance Control Group. Because at the time I felt so bad I wasn't even competing anyway. I just wanted to feel better. So I started to activate my body and like I said, I had more energy. Within about 8 months, I said, hey, I'm going to see if I can get rid of that antihistamine. So I went cold turkey and have never looked back. That was 5 years ago.
Wow.
And previously, if I forgot it when I was traveling or something, I was kind of a mess. My eyes would itch, my nose would run. I felt horrible. So I thought, holy cow. Then I started to work with my physician to wean off my asthma medications, which I'm completely off of those. And then as far as the adrenals and the hormones, what happens with those is when you take those prescriptions, then your body actually stops producing hormones and it stops producing the cortisol. And so with those, you do have to wean off of those so that your body can start
kind of catch up and start producing those hormones again.
Yes, because your body says, oh, you're getting them from somewhere else. So I don't need to make them.
Right.
You can't just go cold turkey. So I was able to wean off of those. And so here I am. I'm no longer on any prescriptions.
Wow. You said that was 5 years ago you began the Nrf2, which is the flagship product, Nrf2 activator.
Yes, exactly. So that was 5 years ago. And then it was probably about 3 years ago. So being a healthcare practitioner, I'm part of a group called LV Docs, which is a group of over 1,200 healthcare practitioners that back these products. And so because I'm part of that, I heard that NRF1 was coming through the pipes. And that we were going to have something that actually increased our body's production of mitochondria. And that is our powerhouse of our cells. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be insane. And I thought this should be illegal as an athlete for me to take this. I mean, it's kind of an unfair advantage. But remarkably enough, it is also BSCG certified. So it is completely safe for me as an athlete. So yes, about 3 years ago, I added the Nrf1 to my regimen and I definitely felt an increase in my energy. I mean, it was remarkable. I mean, it's not like you have a coat of armor and you can do anything.
Right.
And you can be stupid about it. You still have to train smartly and rest.
Right.
But I am definitely recovering at levels that I wasn't before I was introduced to these products.
Ashlie, Ashlie,
the other thing, and you were frozen a little bit, so I hope I'm
I? I'm freezing.
The other thing that I added, there you go, into the repertoire was a probiotic. And I kind of feel like as athletes, we are a bit like a trash can. So we just tear our bodies apart so much. We consume more oxygen than the average person. We typically eat more food than the average person. And so our body has to process all of that. And a lot of times we're doing all of that while we're riding a bike or running. We're trying to actually eat food while we're doing those things. And so it's really important to keep our gut healthy. And my gut was kind of a mess. So this probiotic, despite eating a good, healthy diet, this probiotic has really been key in normalizing my gut function. And that's so important with your immune system. As athletes, we also run our bodies down. And so we're more susceptible to getting sick. And especially at the end of a season, when you kind of let your guard down, in college, everybody would get sick. It was like clockwork. End of the season, everyone got sick. And now I just feel like my immune system is also operating at a higher level. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. How often do you train? Say within a week's time. Are you riding every day?
Some weeks I try to take one day off a week, but usually around 14 to 16 hours of training a week.
And I'm curious if you, for whatever reason, I'm sure you don't miss a day, but what can you tell if you forget to take them? Yeah, I kind of thought so. Yeah, and I've actually talked with and know some athletes that actually double up on the Nrf2.
Yeah, and so there are times that I do. I work in healthcare, so I'm around people all the time. And if my coworkers are sick, if I even feel like I'm getting run down, it's really interesting, Christy, because I really haven't gotten sick since I started these products. I feel a little off.
Right.
Just not quite right. My stomach's off. I got a little headache. I'll get a little extra sleep. I'll take an extra Nrf2 for a few days, and then I just kind of come out of it, which is amazing. So I also take it certainly if I'm traveling and racing, because you're around so many people. You're more susceptible to getting sick after you've really run that system down. So those are things that I take extra.
Yeah, that's great. I too, I feel that I'm just, my immune system is so boosted that if there is something going around, it's almost like I'm trying to get it, but I don't get it, and my body is just able to fight off the virus or the bacteria better. My mitochondria is stronger. And I want to get into a little bit of the science because of your background and your studies. You have a master's in physical therapy, but you've also studied in other areas. And so I want you to take a few minutes to explain for those of us that are listening that might not understand the process of what happens when that Nrf2 pathway is switched on in the body, and how this synergistic formula, what is the magic that it does?
Right, absolutely, of course. So it actually blew me away when I looked at the science. And so what we're talking about is we're actually activating a pathway. So instead of supplementing, we're actually turning our body on to do what it's designed to do when we were maybe 20 or younger. And so I'm definitely beyond that.
Me too. Me too.
Right. And so we're just not operating at the level, or we weren't, that we were when we were teenagers or kids. And so by flipping that switch back on, our body, one of the ways that I describe it is we're really able to detox. So in today's world, in our environments, we are bombarded by so much toxicity every single day. And I mentioned, as an athlete, we're eating more, we're consuming more oxygen. So there's a lot of great benefits about being an athlete, but we are actually exposed to more toxins than the average person as well. And so the thing about being an athlete is, like I said, it's all about recovery. And what happens as an athlete is you tear your body down. That is the training effect. So you tear that body down, you actually tear your muscles. And then what happens is your body has to repair and heal. And then you do that again and again. And with time, you become a better athlete, a better trained athlete. And so again, if you can recover faster, then you can train harder. Well, that's the key with Nrf2 is you're actually getting rid of all that garbage faster. You're detoxing faster, and there's 12 patents on Nrf2. 6 of those are on the fact that it reduces inflammation and scar tissue. So inflammation is key here, because when you're tearing down your muscles, that's inflammation. And so if you can clear that inflammation faster, then you can heal faster. Absolutely. You're also clearing out those toxins faster. So the way that I think about it, and one reason this Nrf2 has been really instrumental lately is I think of our bodies as bathtubs. So if your bathtub is half full of water and you put a little bit more in, everything's fine. So if our bodies have a certain level of toxicity and you injure your ankle, like I did a couple of weeks ago, but my toxicity level is not high, then my body can say, hey, I can go heal that ankle, and it did it fast. 2 days, I was 99% better. A week later, I was racing.
Wow.
Now, make sure that bathtub being 99% full, you add more water, and suddenly that water's all over the bathroom floor, and you have a mess. So now let's say you're not activating that Nrf2 pathway. You have all kinds of toxins in your body. Then you injure your ankle, and the body says, I don't have any reserves to throw at you. I'm already dealing with X, Y, Z. I'm overloaded, I'm full of inflammation, and I'll get to your ankle, but it's going to take me some time. And now that ankle injury can take 3, 4, 6 weeks to heal, because it doesn't have those reserves. So that's another way that Nrf2 has really been beneficial. One of the key things, though, in this particular Nrf2 activator is we increase our body's own production of something called glutathione by 300%. Now, the amazing thing about this is and I'm going to read you a few of these things, but this is key for recovery and exercise, because glutathione increases stamina and endurance, lessens muscle fatigue and exhaustion, improves cardiovascular function, reduces lactic acid, quickens recovery time, strengthens the immune system, protects your body from injury, reduces muscle stress, decreases inflammation, feeds muscles, maintains muscle growth, noticeably improves athletic performance, a rapid and stable increase in energy. And, all of those things are from glutathione. So we're just putting that on to...
There's a reason why it's called the mother of all antioxidants.
Right.
It's because it does so much.
Exactly.
And our bodies soak it up. And one little caveat, something that I learned just a few years ago, because a lot of folks that I know, and I've even gotten them myself, are the cocktails that you can get the extra glutathione shot. And those are great for about 3 days. But the issue is that our bodies, number one, our bodies love it, and it's metabolized. And as soon as it's metabolized, we need more. And so the thing that I love about Protandim Nrf2 is that I am increasing my body's own production, like you said, by 300%, and it's cumulative. So all day, every day, 24/7, my body's creating that glutathione, which in turn, and I'm not a pro athlete, but I do work out, I can tell a huge difference in my own body.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the only way to get glutathione is intravenously or through a nebulizer. So it's very tough to get it into the body and to actually get the body to utilize it. And then, like you said, it's a finite source. So
all right. So we've got the Nrf2, but you also mentioned Nrf1, and I want to dive a little deeper with Nrf1 and have you explain a little bit of the science behind that. We know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. But what is it about the Nrf1? What beyond that can you explain?
Right. So like she said, like Christy said, it is the powerhouse of our cells. It's the powerhouse of our muscles. And so you need a sufficient number in order for them to fully function to their capacity. And research really shows that if you have abnormalities related to this mitochondria, then you will have a loss of muscle mass. And so that is absolutely why you see as people age, they typically lose muscle mass. I mean, even if they're actively trying to maintain it and work out in the gym, quite often they will lose that muscle mass. And so it's because even if they're consuming protein, the muscle can't turn that protein quick enough into maintaining muscle. And so it's a losing battle. You're taking that protein in, but your body's not working fast enough. That mitochondria is not working fast enough to build the muscle fast enough to maintain it. And one of the reasons is that as it's going through that process, it creates garbage. And if you can't get rid of that garbage, then that stagnates that process as well. Hence why Nrf2 is so important, because it gets rid of that garbage.
Right.
And that garbage it's old organelles, things like old mitochondria. I mean, our bodies are constantly reproducing. So we've got to get rid of that garbage so that then we can turn our mitochondria back on so they can actually keep up with the protein consumption to create more muscles. Yeah. And so if you fail to clear that garbage, like I said, you will have smaller and weaker muscles. And our 30 to 40% of our total mass is skeletal muscle. So it's really important to stay on top of that and keep building it. And the mitochondria is just really about energy. So this is, when you turn that pathway back on, most people do feel an increase in energy. Yeah. So again, when you're trying to perform, then, perform at a certain level, having more of that mitochondria is absolutely going to help you. Now, the caveat here is these mitochondria actually produce a lot of oxidative stress.
Right.
So you absolutely can't flip that switch on your mitochondria without flipping the switch to get rid of oxidative stress. So I really think of it as, I used to have an old Honda Fit, and now I have an Audi, and my Audi, it takes the premium gas but it performs. Where my old Honda Fit, it took the low grade gas and it would get me where I was going, but it certainly wasn't as fun of a drive. So I want to turn my mitochondria on. I want to be an Audi. I want to be a Porsche Cayenne. I want to really perform optimally.
Right.
Even if I have to take that extra fuel, which is the Nrf2, to make my system run optimally.
Yeah. So it's really a 1-2 punch. I love it. One last thing. We've been going for now almost 30 minutes. I can't believe the time has flown by. When do you take your Nrf2 and your Nrf1? Some folks I get that question a lot.
Okay. I have talked to our chief science officers about it, and they've said, get it in your body.
Right.
Now, I open up my mouth in the morning at breakfast and I throw it in. So what I do is I actually take my probiotic 30 minutes before I eat.
Right.
Then when I have breakfast, I take my Nrf2, my Nrf1, and my fish oil. And I'm done for the day. And then the Axio, I drink, depending on what I have going on in my day, a lot of times around 2:00 in the afternoon or so. And that's also been a key thing with racing as well, because I will drink that about an hour before I race. And that's all about focus and clarity. So
that's awesome. Well, Ashlie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have been running all day with meetings and doing, folks, I want you to go back and watch the replay. Invite people to our Live Longer Stronger page. Feel free to invite those that need to hear this information, to invite them to join Live Longer Stronger. And if you want more information about Nrf2, Nrf1, or any of the other products that Ashlie mentioned, we didn't really talk about those that is equally as good and help to maintain that peak performance. Just get back with the person that invited you to our Live Longer Stronger page. Certainly reach out to me with any questions, and we want to get that information to you to better educate you. So Ashlie, with that, I'll say goodbye, and I'm delighted, love it. Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely, I was more than happy to be here. So
all right, well, we'll have you on again sometime, and you can give us an update on your latest triathlon, your latest mountain bike, and maybe even next time you can tell us the story, your recent story of being hunted. Yeah. Not tonight, but that, I'll tell you what, folks, that's a kicker. She's one brave woman, let me just say that, out in the mountains of Colorado. All right, my friends.
Thank you, Christy. Good to see you.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.